In example 1, we're asked to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of this line. And then we're given a line that's located there in the coordinate plane. So the first thing we need to do when asked to write an equation in slope-intercept form is we need to know that slope-intercept form is where we have y equals mx plus b. And in order to write anything in slope-intercept form, we need to know two things. We need to know what m is, which is our slope, and we also need to know what b is, which is our y-intercept. Now, when we know those two bits of information, then we can write our equation in slope-intercept form. So the first thing, when we're given a line in the coordinate plane, what we need to do is we need to look for the y-intercept, or where this line crosses the y-axis. So right here at this point at 0, 4, that's where this line is crossing the y-axis. So that means that my y-intercept is going to be at y equals 4. Okay? Now, for the second part, the slope, we need to have two good solid points on our line. This first point that we labeled here at 0, 4, that's going to be a good solid line because it falls on a lattice. Now, the second point that we choose needs to be somewhere else that falls on a lattice as well, that is along that line. This point right here at -3, 3 is also going to be another good point. So once we have those two good solid points, we can use our equation that says m is going to be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so we can use these 2 points to get all these values, y2, y1, x2, and x1, in order to solve for the slope. So I'm going to take my points and I'm going to label them in ordered pair form. It's going to be -3 and 3. And then we have the other point here at 0, 4. Now, what I need to do is I need to label one of these points as point 1 and I need to label the other point as point 2. It doesn't matter which one you label as point 1 or point 2. So I'm going to simply label the top point here as point 1, and then I'm going to label this second point down here as point 2. Now, with any ordered pair, the first number is always going to be your x value, and the second number is always going to be your y value. So since we're talking about this being point 1, -3 is going to be x1, and then the +3 is going to be the y1. So in my second ordered pair here, the 0 is going to be my x coordinate, the 4 is going to be my y coordinate. So since we're talking about this being as point 2, the 0 is going to be our x2, and the 4 is going to be our y2. Now, all I need to do is plug those values into my slope equation to start solving for the slope. So we labeled y2 as 4, so I'm going to say that's 4 minus y1, which we labeled as 3. That's going to be over x2, which we labeled as 0, minus x1, which is going to be -3. Now, in the top, simplifying, 4 minus 3, that's going to be 1. And then on the bottom, I have 0 minus -3, which is going to be 3. Once I change the minus to a plus and change the sign of the number after. So I know that my slope is 1/3. I know that my y-intercept is 4. All I need to do now is go back to my slope-intercept form of my equation, which says y equals mx plus b. I need to let my m equal 1/3. And I need to let b, the y-intercept, equal 4. And all I'm going to do is replace m and b with those numbers. So I have y equals 1/3 x plus 4. And that equation would be the equation in slope-intercept form of the given line that I have in the coordinate plane.